This is the story of how a peasant girl who couldn't even read or write became a saint. Joan of Arc was born in 1412 in the small village of Domremy in France. Her father was a poor peasant and farmer, and her mother was a maid. They weren't expecting much from life, but they did have high hopes for their little girl. They named her Joan after Saint Joan of Paris and hoped that she would grow up to be a good, pious Christian. Joan was deeply religious from a young age and would often pray for hours on end. When she was 13, she began having visions of saints. Saint Michael, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret appeared to her and told her that she was chosen to help drive the English out of France and to support Charles VII, who was the rightful heir to the throne. At first, Joan didn't want to go to Charles. She was just a poor peasant girl and he was a king. Besides, she couldn't even read or write. But the saints kept appearing to her and telling her that she had to do this. So finally, when she was 17, she set off to find him. When she got to the king, he didn't believe her at first, but eventually he agreed to let her join his army. He gave her armor, troops, and made her a military leader, something that was very rare for a woman at the time, let alone a peasant girl. Joan led the French to a crucial victory at the Siege of Orleans in 1429. This turned the tide of 100 years. War and gave the French a much-needed morale boost. Because of her victory, Charles VII was able to take the throne and be crowned king in Reims, which fulfilled part of Joan's divine mission, but sadly it wasn't to last. In 1430, Joan was captured by the Burgundians and sold to the English. They hated her guts because she was a thorn in their side and had become a symbol of French resistance. So they put her on trial for heresy, witchcraft, and cross-dressing, because back then, women weren't allowed to wear armor. And she was sentenced to death. So in 1431, at the age of 19, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake, but she never wavered. She remained steadfast in her faith until the end. In 1456, a retrial declared her innocent and a martyr. And in 1920, the Catholic Church canonized her as Saint Joan of Arc. Today, she is one of the patron saints of France and a symbol of courage and faith for all of us. If you like this video, be sure to check out more content. See you next time.